Night of the Dead is janky, grindy, and kind of ugly, but I had a fantastic time playing it. It is a zombie horde survival game that takes place on a small island map where you traverse the world collecting journal entries that tell the story of the game. This game came out 3 years ago in 2020, and I did not buy it then because I thought it looked awful. And after playing it now, 3 years ago, I probably would have actually hated it. Today though, this game had me playing till I completed what content there was, and to be honest, I do wish there was more content, and after 3 years, I honestly expected the story at least to be finished or close to finished, but I'm only about halfway through, I think, in terms of how much space is left on the journal entries that you could find. But besides the dreadfully slow development speed, the team does appear to be keeping the project alive with hotfixes and patches. It is clear that this developer does not have the biggest budget, and contrary to some of the more idiotic comments that I find plaguing my sections and videos, I do not expect indie developers to have the most biggest of disposable income. There are only a few things that I expect indie developers to abide by, at least for me. This is not obvious. I'm not freaking God. I can't create the indie developer commandments for all indie developers to abide by. That's not what this is. This is just what I look for in indie games. And they are the following. I look for devotion to craft, integrity, healthy self-awareness, and hard work. And those are the reasons why I trashed so hard on Grand Enterprise Time Travel Survival, and I'm praising this one. Even though Grand Enterprise visually is way more stunning and advanced than this game, but gameplay wise, even though it still doesn't make sense half the time, I had so much more fun playing this one than Grand Enterprise. The game is ugly and janky, but I had a blast. It is clear that the developers love this game and its idea, and it's very similar to 7 Days to Die because of the horde mechanic, but instead of every 7 days, it is nightly. One might think that that sounds exhausting, but with the amount of things to craft wherever you want and the size of the traversable map, it is perfect. You can go anywhere you need to go on foot, though you can craft vehicles and make it back in time to repair your base, build more traps, and enhance your defenses. Night of the Dead has implemented things that have attracted players like me and thousands of others that Project Zomboid has and Dead Matter aspired to have, and that includes pre-apocalypse occupations that affect your character stats now, and skill sets, and perks, both positive and negative. So you could have a very grueling run if you wanted to and have all negative perks and make your challenging experience more difficult, or you could just buff yourself with positive traits. And obviously the game that perfected and popularized this style of character customization was Project Zomboid, but it is very exciting to see this mechanic in third-person or first-person zombie games. Very similar to 7 Days to Die, you can customize the map that you spawn on with different server settings. But for my first playthrough, I kept everything on default. The base building is very satisfying. It doesn't really make any sense, but honestly, if the game isn't trying to be something that it's not and taking itself too seriously, it doesn't need to make sense. It just needs to be fun. That's the same reason why Minecraft is so much fun, because no, it doesn't make sense to combine a certain amount of blocks to create something that you wouldn't expect, but who cares? It's fun. And it is fun finding different resources you need to upgrade your walls and finding out what new workbenches do and coming up with a lot of different base defense ideas. You can do freestanding buildings, but I prefer to mix my buildings with prefab buildings for extra protection and to create fatal funnels. In this case, I sandwiched my base between a large building and a fence. And for defense, I created a murder maze on one approach area and just a brutalizing entrance on the other side, filled with guillotines, pendulum swings with spiked balls, and just a horde of blades. And I thought this would get old after a while, watching zombies walk into these traps, but it just does not. It's always fun. I love watching them get decimated, and the zombies are stupid, but they aren't too stupid. They will try their best to find an alternate path past your traps, and no, they don't succeed, because eventually you have the creative ability and liberty to craft whatever you want, wherever you want, so they will be forced to walk through them eventually. However, it is refreshing to see them have a certain level of awareness. The combat is not that complicated, and it's very straightforward. You have a variety of weapons like axes, spears, shields, bows, and a variety of firearms, although I am not too fond of the firearms as the noise attracts a lot of zombies. But sometimes you come across these banshee-style zombies who look horrifying, who will just scream and then run away, drawing more zombies to your area regardless. Headshots matter, by the way, which is great because they are some special kind of zombies that really require extra damage. And these guys are these huge hulking things, and sometimes they have hooks that draw you in, sometimes they have giant objects they throw at you, but these guys also drop some of the best gear for you to use, including 25 research papers upon death instead of just one that regular zombies drop for you. And research papers are very important because you need them to unlock different skills and abilities for your character to use at your research table. And this this is the great aspect about this game, and this is what makes it so replayable, is the character customization, the research table, and how you want to progress through the game and kill your zombies. And being able to have those noticeable differences in proficiency while you try to survive is invigorating. A tree now takes 2 chops instead of 5 to fell. Normal enemies take 2 body shots instead of 4 to kill. Searching and scavenging containers are 40% faster, and I can run 20% faster. All of these enhancements you can experience, and I feel a lot of times in games, it's hard to feel like point placement actually matters. So being able to not only see and visualize the enhancements that you're putting your points into, but also see them reflected in the real world with mundane tasks like chopping down trees and saving time that way, and just increasing the efficiency of your base building is just fantastic. Now, upon leveling up, you get 1 skill point to place in one of these different categories. Each category will tailor your gameplay in different ways, but as you can see, I preferred to put most of my points into damage because in my experience with this game, the best defense is a great offense. That is literally all you need to know about this game to get started and go into it. It is worth your money. At first, I wasn't too impressed with it because graphically it's blasé and it's just kind of janky. But after giving it some time, I really fell for this game, and I'm really excited to see it continue to develop and progress. And I love seeing indie developers release a game and then stay with the game, and they don't come up with some new idea to try to catch a different audience or shuffle their audience from one game to the next, hoping one just blows up. No, they stick with one game and they stay loyal to that game and that audience, and they finish it through and through. It's a simple story. It's a simple gameplay loop. It's great in single player, and for multiplayer, it's probably a blast as well. And for all these reasons, I absolutely recommend Night of the Dead. I hope you guys enjoyed. Check out some of my other videos as well on what games could do to be better, and some more scathing reviews of games that I don't find that impressive. And I will see you guys in the next one. Happy surviving. Path out.